definition of storytelling is actually relatively new in Malaysia.
Are they reading or telling?
Yeah.
In bookstores?
Right.
In the bookstores, are they reading or are they telling?
Exactly.
Most of the time, it really upsets me. People say, "Come for storytelling," and they think they're, "Good morning, children. This is the story of," and they're relating, number one, to the book, and secondary to you. You're relating to my ball patch, okay? And it's here. This is the story of the very hungry caterpillar, and then and one day, and this is the experience. When I'll tell very hungry caterpillar this afternoon, and it'll be eye contact, eye contact, eye contact. And I'm telling the story in my words. Again, this is why it's huge, because it's your words. And again, for anybody who's, I will say to the people this afternoon, don't worry about your English. The important thing, what a marvelous model you are as a teacher or as a parent. Even though English may be your second language, the fact that you are willing to use it, okay, and you don't mind about the mistakes, you're making yourself understood. This is the important thing, the more you use it, the better you'll become with the language. But you're using your own words as opposed to, if you pick up a Roald Dahl, you may find that quite difficult because it's his grammar to try and, to read it. If you tell the Roald Dahl, tell the story, one, you'll use your language, so you'll be comfortable with using it. Once the kids heard you tell it, they'll say, "Wow, that's a good story," and they'll want to go to the library, and I want a book by Roald Dahl. You know what I mean? They want to hear it. They want to read it for themselves. So again, if you tell a story, the kids will want to read it. Whenever I do this, I go into the library. In schools, in Library Week, this thing. Someone tells a story, the books fly off the shelf. The librarian says people are queuing up. They want to read the book. So very important. So that's why I pick you up on that, Teresa, because when you say there are people in bookstores, are they telling? I bet most of the time they're reading. They may be very good readers, but it's a very different experience.
No interaction with the audience.
Lesser.
I would say normally the parents or the teachers, in Malaysia, when we say storytelling, the definition is pada suatu hari or once upon a time where that storytelling competition phrases
Expected and typical.
Typical. That is what they expect. It should always be starting with once upon a time and pada suatu hari, and it's just meant for storytelling competitions in school, rather than relating it to how you can have it with your children, rather than relating it to how you can have it at work, how you can have it in classroom to enhance, attitude, moral values and things like that. It's more of competition, pertandingan sekolah kind of thing, isn't it?
Let me give you the shortest story. This is the shortest story in my book. Okay. Mother says to her daughter, if someone gave you $1 million, what would you do with it? What would be the first thing that you'd buy? Mother says to her daughter, if someone gave you $1 million, what would be the first thing you'd buy? And if I'm telling the story now, I stop and I say, so I'm asking you, come on, if someone gave you $1 million, what would be the very first thing you'd buy? And then she's thinking, is it going to be the car? Is it going to be the condo? And I'm talking $1 million, not $1 million ringgit. We're talking big money here. Okay.
Yes.
What would it be the first thing what would you think the first thing you'd buy?
Holiday.
Buy a holiday. She wants to do the safari. Okay. Thank you, car. Fail. Okay. It's a story about gratitude. It's a story about thanks. How often do we stop to say thank you? When was the last time you said thank you to somebody? Okay. I've said my thank yous to these two lovely ladies for bringing me here. Okay. So, and it takes 2 minutes to tell that story, and yet it makes you, oh yeah, I'm being given $1 million and I don't even stop to say thank you. What do we not stop to? So stories can be used at any moment. You could drop this into a conversation, a situation, and they have an impact.